For the past 20 years, I have been living under the pain of having these allegations made against me year in, year out, until today.
The life of Kojo Tsikata, a Ghanaian military officer and politician whose story is filled with mystery, intelligence, and resilience. He was a Pan-Africanist that had been known to be associated with Fidel Castro, the MPLA in Angola, Hugo Chavez, as well as Palestinian Yasser Arafat, and even Gaddafi, just to name a few. Let's begin the story.
Of course, my full name is Kojo Tsikata. I was born on the 4th of May, 1936, in a small town on the eastern coast of Ghana, near the boundary between Ghana and Togo.
From his student days at Achimota during Ghana's quest for independence, Tsikata embraced the Pan-African vision of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, setting the stage for a lifetime devoted to the liberation struggle and the dream of a new Africa. As a young officer in the Ghana Army, he found himself on the front lines of the United Nations forces in the Congo, a mission charged with securing the independence of a nation. His allegiance to Pan-Africanist and anti-neocolonialist Patrice Lumumba marked the beginning of his journey into the heart of revolutionary movements. With the post-independence crisis in Congo, current DRC, he led the Ghanaian troops of the UN contingent in Kasai province for some time. There he met the Angolans, and in 1964, with the knowledge of President Nkrumah, he contacted the president of the MPLA, Agostinho Neto, to make his contribution to the armed struggle for the liberation of Angola. The first foreigner integrated into the guerrilla, he was an advisor to the then commander of the 2nd Military Region and participated in reconnaissance missions, ambushes, and in Operation Monkey. He continued to serve there, supporting the liberation movements until the overthrow of Kwame Nkrumah's government. Due to this, he fell out with the officers who overthrew Kwame Nkrumah and stayed in exile in Angola until the military handed over power to the civilian government of Kofi Abrafa Busia in 1969. While Busia was in Britain for a medical checkup, the army under Colonel Ignatius Kutu Acheampong overthrew his government in 1972. The story takes a riveting turn in 1976 when Tsikata, alongside others, faced charges for attempting to overthrow the NRC military government led by Acheampong. That plot became known as the one-man, one-matchet coup. Tsikata was put on trial and chose to defend himself without counsel, and pointed out the contradictions in the evidence provided against him. He was eventually acquitted, but many others on the same trial were sentenced to death. Fast forward to 1982, a year etched in Ghana's history with a tragedy of unimaginable proportions. High Court judges, including a pregnant woman, were abducted and brutally murdered. Tsikata, now the special advisor under the PNDC appointed by the then President Jerry Rawlings, found himself entangled in a web of scrutiny. Joachim Amarte Quay, also a member of Rawlings' PNDC, emerged as the mastermind behind the murders. In an alleged attempt to blackmail the PNDC into saving him from the firing squad, he tried to implicate Captain Tsikata. However, the Attorney General decided to exclude Captain Tsikata from the prosecution, and eventually Amarte and others were prosecuted, convicted, and sentenced to death by the firing squad. Although denying being involved with the killing of the judges, he stayed under scrutiny by Ghanaians. Once again, Tsikata had escaped death. And just when things couldn't be any more dramatic, in a rare pre-execution interview, President Rawlings recorded a confession statement by Amate, apologizing to Tsikata for implicating him in this case and admitted that he had no involvement.
I'm also aware that before Amate died, he made a confession in the chapel of Ashford prisons to Reverend Damois and Asasi Jima, and he told them to come and apologize to me for what he had done against me. Both Father Damois and Asasi Jima told me of Amatekwe's apologies shortly after Amatekwe was executed. I'm also aware that at the range where he was executed, before he died, he also made a confession and asked me to forgive him or apologize for what he had done to me.
Tsikata's journey continued in 1995 as he stepped into the role of a peace negotiator during the First Liberian Civil War, showcasing his unwavering commitment to fostering peace in the region. He led a delegation with other ECOWAS leaders setting up of an international war crimes tribunal, where the factional leaders in Liberia would have to clear themselves of any human rights abuses before being eligible to stand for democratic elections. He was truly recognized across Africa as a fighter for liberation. Appointed by Gaddafi to a senior advisory position, he also played a crucial role in the Al-Mataba Central Committee, supporting liberation movements and anti-imperialist causes. His legacy also lives on in Angola's highest honors, a testament to his pivotal role in the nation's fight for independence. Tsikata's story ended with a short illness that led to his death in November 2021. He kept Nkrumah's Pan-African spirit alive for many years.